Hello everyone, welcome to the IAS Mentor Modern Indian History series. We are continuing the rise of nationalism. In the previous class, we have seen the provisions of Indian Councils Act 1861. We have seen how the British tried to create British type of parliamentary system in India. One of the core functions of parliamentary system is the representation, but that representation is not going to happen unless Indians are going to fight. That fight is going to come in the form of the spirit of nationalism, the ideology of nationalism. Before going to that, the IAS Mentor has come up with the complete schedule. From December 1st onwards, you are going to start the mentorship schedule. For further details, please keep watching the IAS Mentor. Phone numbers are also given. Please contact the contact numbers. In this class, we are going to understand in depth what are the factors for the rise of nationalism. Nationalism means the spirit of nation. This is the country. People should not identify themselves with their region or caste, their religion, at the exclusion of Indian nation identity. So if someone says, I am an Indian, that means you are giving foremost importance to the identity of India. Then region, religion, caste, these things will come later because every person has so many identities. Since birth, they are identified with various factors from birth to death. But when it comes to nation, nation first. Then only people will stop fighting with each other in the name of caste, in the name of religion, in the name of region. If people stop fighting, then this creates unity. Then if Indians are unified, then people like British will not come and exploit India. So ultimately, the identity is good for the nation. If this identity is strong, then we can reduce a lot of conflicts. As a result, we can peacefully focus on the development, economic development, cultural development, political development, social development, and so on. But if we are busy in fighting, then external powers will come and try to take advantage. That should not happen. That is why the spirit of nationalism is going to play a very important role in unifying the people of India. But this nationalism did not come all of a sudden. There were certain factors. When it comes to before advent of Europeans, there were so many kingdoms. After the decline of Mughal Empire also, so many kingdoms were there. They are continuously fighting also. Due to some factors, after the establishment of East India Company Raj, some factors favored the rise of nationalism. One by one, we have to understand. Number one, political unity. Political unity. Now, what is this one? Starting from 1764 Battle of Buxar to 1850s Punjab conquest complete, entire India came under single political authority. Now, people here looking for the capital, Fort William, and people from this place also looking towards Fort William, and people from Bombay also looking towards this, towards this, towards this. Now, the imagination of every Indian is moving towards the capital of British Empire, that is Fort William. It shows that this place is now administering every part. If the administration is exploiting these people, now people also can easily correlate with this administration. But at least now people are now looking towards these people not as separate people, not as separate people, not as separate, not as separate, but all are belong to same empire. That same we all belong to same empire. That feeling is important one. And now same empire, that feeling now you have to convert into same nation. But before you make the people belong to same nation, this political unity under British Raj enabled Indians to think that all these people come under single entity. That is what political unity. Some of them were directly under British Raj, some of the princely states were indirectly under British Raj. But everyone know that the real authority lies in British only. In that way, this political unity made people think that they all belong to same political establishment. Now the imagination will come. Now under the British Raj, we are all unified. But this unity is helping the British. They are exploiting Indians. Now if we replace British and if Indians only rule entire India, now this kind of exploitation will not take place. But this kind of political unity is important, that helped people to move from one location to the other location and think all the people under this administration single. So that is what commonality. The moment you feel that all these people belong to single identity, then you will get this feeling of nation. That is what political unity. So this is East India Company Raj, later replaced by Crown Raj. Crown Raj. Now, parliamentary system, even though it is not exactly like British people, but the efforts to make parliamentary system started before 1857. Also this effort started, but after 1857 this continuously going on. Even though with a lot of limitations, this system is now emerging. As a result, people now thinking about to participate in this system. And they are now thinking about across India. So demand is going to be like we need representation from across India. That is because of political unity. So when it comes to political unity, this helped Indians to think as single political entity. Next one. Second one. Exploitative policies. Exploitative policies of the British. Now exploitative policies means, if I draw this, already you know. When it comes to exploitation, here zamidari settlement or permanent settlement, ryotwari settlement, mahalwari settlement. This is one way of exploitation. Now peasants in Punjab have sympathy with the peasants of Assam, peasants of Bengal, peasants of Madras, peasants of Bombay. Now everywhere, now peasants are suffering, similar kind, only name is changing, but suffering is same. More exploitation, more demand of land revenue, and if people are not able to pay because of rainfall fail or crop failure, they were ruthlessly punished and inhumanly treated. Now people are thinking that we are all same people, British are exploiting us. People from this region to this region are sharing the same burden. Factor is, the reason is British. This is common. And this is common. That's why we are all common. The feeling of nationalism is now increasing. This is the reason. And along with these exploitative policies, there are so many other ways of exploitation also. These are only peasant related. What about artisans? Artisans, deindustrialization took place and they became unemployed. And what about traders? Petty traders, Earlier, the traders who were enjoying under Indian leaders or Indian political system, now they got affected with East India Company trading body. It itself is doing business. Now, if two people are traders, now because of the competition, one trader is going to be wiped out. East India Company got the political power, they wiped out the Indian traders. Only those traders who supported the cause of East India Company, they survived, but remaining people, they got affected. Peasants affected, artisans affected, traders got affected, exploitative policies, rural people affected, everywhere. Now, this exploitation enabled people to think that we are all same people, but our common enemy is British. This gave the feeling that we all should unite, then only we can fight against the British. If we separately fight, already peasants, tribals, they were already fighting. But if they fight independently in local ways, they cannot really find the solution against the British exploitation. That is why gradually the feeling of commonness is emerging, that we are all same, all people belong to same nation are getting suffered from the British establishment. Next one. Before the when it comes to the connectivity, what about the connectivity? Before the establishment of British Raj, here there was different kingdoms. Now kings are gone. For the administration purpose, now they are going to maintain communication systems. The British used these communication systems to reach distant areas. But national leaders are going to use the same communication mechanism like railways to travel from one place to the other place and share the experiences of this location in this location and understanding their experiences to them. And as a result, solidarity is coming from distant places. They were able to contact. Once they are communicating frequently, now the feeling of commonness also going to increase. This is what next one communication means. Communication means like railways, telegraph. These enabled Indian leaders to share ideas across India. If people from different places are coming together, now they are feeling that they are all same only. They are not different people. They all belong to the same culture. They all belong to the same land, that is Indian subcontinent. They are all suffered from the British exploitative policies. Now they need unity among themselves. This is what. Now, direct communication lines, in this way they communicated. But to create awareness about India or India as a nation, there is one more communication means that helped a lot, that is press. Press played very, very important role. When it comes to press, they highlighted exploitative policies of British. And they shared stories that how British people or English people enjoying under parliamentary system, how the United Kingdom people are enjoying democratic rights, liberalism principles, whereas in India, how they are suppressing the liberties. Here more press freedom, here less press freedom. Here they can criticize the government, and here if you criticize the government, you are going to be attacked. And some journalists also imprisoned by the British Raj. It further aggravated discontent among Indians, and they are going to fight against the British exploitation and British policies in India. And they created awareness among all sections of people that we need to get united. If Indians are not united, Britishers are going to use our divisions for their benefit. And in the name of maintaining law and order peace, they are crushing us. This press highlighted both positive elements and negative elements of British Raj. They highlighted, and they also created awareness among the people that unless we all get united, we cannot have strong power to convince the British people or to demand from the British what we are supposed to get. We need reforms, but if we are divided, they are not going to listen to us, because they also have seen that in French Revolution, in American Revolution, in European revolutions, one of the biggest factor behind these revolutions is unity among the people. That is what they are going to highlight through the press. They are going to highlight all these aspects, current affairs or current events that are taking place within India, outside India, and also what are the advantages if everyone think that they all belong to one unity, one Indian nation, and if they are divided, how British exploited that division and continuously expanded their power in India. If Bengal people feel different, Madras people feel different, Maratha people feel different, then British are going to be the winners. Before British conquered, Marathas were continuously attacking the neighboring kingdoms. But in 1700s, 1600s, that was the kind of political system. But now press is highlighting that now the politics have changed. Politics are not to take the sword and gun to expand, but through the unity among the people, people can change the fate of the system. American Revolution, American Revolution changed. French Revolution changed the French government. European revolutions are changing the European governments, and people themselves are started ruling. That kind of awareness is spread through press. So their main purpose is to unite Indians with a kind of ideology that is nationalism. Communication means helped. Press also helped. Exploitative policies of the British helped, and political unity helped. Next one. Fifth one. Historical research. Historical research. When it comes to India, we are talking about the rise of nationalism means in 1750s. Our political system is empires, regional kingdoms. People used to feel that they are part of Mughal Empire, they are part of Bengal Nawab, they are part of Nizam. The political leaders, they used to control their subjects in 1750s like this. And every kingdom used to consider they are powerful, and they tried to expand their territory also into neighboring kingdom. And as a result, neighboring kingdoms used to fight, like Marathas versus Nizam, Mysore versus Nizam, Mysore versus Marathas, Marathas versus Mughal Empire and Bengal. And before that, Mughal Empire captured many regional kingdoms. In ancient and medieval times, people used to attribute themselves as part of these kingdoms or empires. Now, when many kings are there, when many kings were there, then it appears politically divided. But one binding force that is coming throughout the past, because it is not only 1750s, many kingdoms were there. Before Mughal Empire also so many kingdoms were there. Before Delhi Sultanate, so many empires were, so many kingdoms were there. Before Guptas also, before Mauryans also. But when it comes to historical research, they highlighted the rule of Mauryan Empire. Mauryan Empire is the one who controlled entire Indian subcontinent. Present day Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, everything came under single political entity. When historical research highlighted this fact, then it gave confidence among Indians that Indians also can rule Indian subcontinent. It is not that only British are capable of ruling entire India. In the past, we Indians ruled ourselves. And same goes to Guptas. And same goes to Delhi Sultans, Mughals. They highlighted this historical fact that Indians were capable of ruling entire Indian subcontinent. Now, as a result, what happened? Now, these historical research helped nationalist leaders to get our past in the right sense, and they used to create awareness among the people. In 1750s, British captured. By 1820s, most of the land came under British, and by 1850s, entire Indian subcontinent. Entire Indian subcontinent. Now, when it comes to the nationalism, before 1857, it is in the nascent stage, but after 1857 revolt, the spirit of nationalism started growing very strongly. Because by this time, French Revolution, European revolutions, in Europe also, Germany unification, Italy unification. There also, Germany was divided into multiple kingdoms. Foreign powers used to control them. Italy also, it is also divided. And when it comes to this spirit of nationalism, all Germans got united and trying to become one single nation. All Italians were fighting against the foreign powers to become a nation by merging all regional kingdoms. And French, the spirit of nationalism reached heights during French Revolution. All these gradually unfolding in Europe through press, through leaders' initiatives. By this time period, national leaders are coming to know that what is the power of nationalism, what is the kind of benefit if every Indian unite and live under the spirit of nationalism. That is why after 1850s, in 1860s, 1870s, 1880s, this spirit of nationalism gradually deepened. And by 1900s, this reached to the new heights. Because of that only, under the leadership of Gandhiji, many people were able to come to the streets and participated for the freedom. This spirit of nation enabled Indian leaders to spread the ideas across India, and these ideas enabled leaders also to bring people from different regions to come together. Historical research helped these leaders to showcase that it is not that we are uniting now because of the British. Before British, already we were united. British used to take the credit that Indians were always divided, Indian kingdoms were fighting with each other. We united India. We gave India. This kind of proud statements they used to make, but historical research proved that it is not the British first time who unified India, but before that, long ago, Mauryans, Guptas also ruled most of the Indian subcontinent. Indians also capable to rule entire India, and it is not that the British for the first time unified Indians, and they have highlighted this. Now, if there is no political entity, how India survived? This historical research helped Indians to understand that even if politically disintegrated, like say like Mauryan Empire, if Mauryan Empire disintegrated, so many regional kingdoms emerged. After Gupta, so many kingdoms emerged. Despite so many regional kingdoms were there, but when it comes to people as a whole, as a cultural entity, they used to consider themselves as belong to similar kind of culture. The terms like Hindustan, the term Hindustan also comes from the term the people who are living beyond in Sindhu river. So that is what historical research is all about. That means the people who are living beyond Indus means Indian subcontinent belong to single identity. When Alexander the Great wanted to conquer, he felt he wanted to conquer India. In the imagination of ancient people also, India means they are talking about Himalayan region to Indian Ocean. That's why this historical research enabled Indians to think India as a nation from Himalayas to Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean. In the historical research, some Britishers, Orientalists also helped to uncover many developments from the past. In Europe also, in European countries also, some people showed a lot of interest in studying history of India. That is why it is called Indology, study about India. Europeans studied India's past to their favor, but because of that research, Indian historians analyzed in the true sense, and they highlighted this fact that India is not unified by British now. Multiple times India united also, divided also. But as a cultural entity, the common Indians always used to think that people from Himalayas to Indian Ocean belong to same culture. That is how Hinduism spread everywhere, Jainism spread everywhere, Buddhism spread everywhere. In medieval times, Islam also spread everywhere. People consider all of them belong to similar kind of geographical entity, that is Himalayas to Indian Ocean. That is why historical research helped Indians to get their identity back. This what the nationalist leaders inspired by the historical research and to spread the idea of nationalism. This is one thing. Next one, how historical research is happening, how people are communicating. India was having so many languages. How these people are communicating means that is because of modern education. These people are coming to know about European developments also because of modern education. Modern education or English education. Now, as a result, what happened? This created an intellectual class. This created an intellectual class. Here also English medium. Whatever subjects they are studying about Europeans, they are studying about Americans, they are studying about India's past. Now, when it comes to these people also, same thing they are doing. Here also same thing they are doing, and here also same thing, and here also same thing. As a result, what happened? When the leaders from this region, this, and this, when they meet, now there is a common connectivity among them. They can communicate freely in English, and all people know about what is happening in Europe, and they are going to understand, they are going to debate, they are going to discuss, and they are going to demand British government also. When English people, when Europeans are enjoying liberalism, why are you not giving these liberal principles to Indians? If you don't, we are going to fight against you. This kind of feeling coming because now the communication mechanism is English. Through English, they were able to communicate. Already railways were there, already telegraph, already press. Now with this, through this language, if someone write some newspaper here in the newspaper, this newspaper article will reach here, and these people also equally feel the same gravity of the situation. And if someone produces some kind of article in English here, these people can read. These people can read. Likewise, this modern education and English education enabled Indians to think about liberalism, nationalism, democracy. Now, when nationalism spirit is growing, it helped Indians to come to the common front. And when Britishers are not respecting these principles which English people are enjoying, all people are going to unite and fight against injustice. This modern education and English education helped Indians to communicate, and also to highlight the limitations of the British Raj. All right. Now, next one. When it comes to nation, a person from Punjab, a person from Madras should feel that they belong to single nation. But in 1700s, why people were not behaving like that means so much regionalism, so many local identities like caste system, religion, and regionalism, they are all coming to play. But because of the socio-religious reform movements, socio-religious reform movements, what they have done? They tried to explain that all human beings are equal. The tradition says by birth people are not equal. Privileges, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, upper caste, lower caste, Hindu, Muslim, identity, caste identity, religion identity, region identity, Marathis, Bengalis. This is the kind of identity they were having, this kind of identity in their village, in their regions. But when it comes to socio-religious reforms, they started highlighting that this practice is not in consonance with the modern practices. Modern values teach equality. By birth, all are equal. And they are condemning the religious practices, the people who are supporting this caste system in the name of religion. They wanted to reform religion itself. They started questioning that religion do not say this one. It is the interpretation of the religious text resulted in this, but that kind of interpretation is not correct one. And these people were using ancient texts like Upanishads. The intellectuals started giving Upanishadic thought in the right context, and whatever they interpreted, whatever Upanishads were saying, that is relevant to modern values. Upanishads treat everyone equal. Upanishads wanted everyone humanly treat, because everyone comes from the same reality, Brahman. When we are all children of the same God, then how come these many systems? How many these many castes? And below that, untouchability, that is even in human practice. Now, if society is divided like this, then how can they behave that we are all Indians? Now, if a Brahmana feels he is Indian, if untouchable also feel Indian, that means both Brahmana and untouchable should sit together, eat together, converse together, live together. But when it comes to Indian society, they are divided very, very rigidly. Strong walls are there between these castes. Then when the Indians are going to break these walls and feel that they are Indians, the moment you feel Indians, then you should not think about all these things. But without a socio-religious reform movement, it is not possible. That is why it takes a lot of time to feel people in this manner. But in that effort, socio-religious reformers played very, very important role in breaking the traditional walls. And once these traditional walls are broken, gradually they started feeling that beyond this caste, beyond this religion, beyond this region, there is a bigger identity, that is India as a nation. Because we were bogged down in this local identities, British took the advantage by saying that we are not modern, they are human, they are modern, and they came here to modernize India. But if we ourselves modernize on the lines of modern principles, we also feel equal with the British. We are not subordinates, we are going to be equal. That foundation was laid by socio-religious reformers. These people also, socio-religious reformers also helped Indians to think beyond the regional or rigid identities, very narrow loyalties, narrow identities. That is one. Next, eighth one, racialism. When it comes to British, the hypocrisy is like this. Hypocrisy of the British, they say, white man burden. God has given us a duty to uplift Indians. Second, modernize India, civilize India. Give modern values. The modern values means equality, liberty, fraternity. But when it comes to the reality, they feel that Europeans and Indians are not at all equal. Europeans versus Indians, not at all equal. Example, suppose when there are European houses or European colonies, Indians should not enter without their permission. If there are European estates, people should not enter unless they are workers have the permission. And there used to be boats also. Dogs and Indians are not allowed into the premises. You see this discrimination? Privileges to the English people, whereas Indians treated like inhumans. When it comes to Justice Department, Europeans are treated separately, Indians are treated separately. But justice is all about treating everyone equal. But the Justice Department itself is injustice, unjust. Next, administration, Queen Proclamation and various charter acts and Legislative Councils Act. They used to say that Crown do not discriminate based on race, based on color. But when it comes to the administration, upper layers of civil servants, Europeans, lower level clerks, Indians. Upper military officers, British, and lower sepoys, Indians. But the treatment of these sepoys and lower level clerks by the upper layer officers is inhuman. They used to literally abuse, beat, and food also was not given properly. That kind of treatment they have them. That's what hypocrisy. If they are talking about modern and civilization, is it civilization? Is it modern? Even when famines are there, even when famine conditions are there, when people are suffering from hunger and dying, even that time also British wanted to collect land revenue as much as possible. This kind of treatment, and they used to treat Indians as animals. When 1857 revolt took place, this racialism even increased, heightened further. After 1857 revolt, they directly started practicing this racial principle across the administration. When one of the governor general or one of the viceroy, one of the liberal viceroys, Lord Ripon, wanted to remove this injustice to make equality in Justice Department, he brought a bill called Ilbert Bill. The moment Ilbert Bill was came to the light, then immediately European common people joined hands and they protested against the viceroy's decision. Viceroy also had to take the decision back and he also had to resign. That shows that European common people never treat Indians on the equal front. And this is a very common example. Gandhiji, when he has taken ticket of the first class and boarded the train, he was thrown out of the train. Even though he has the ticket, but British felt that no black person can equally travel with them. That is the treatment. That is only one example. Likewise, so many such examples. Then people, Indians, felt that unless we are united, unless we all people belong to single nation, unless we come out of the caste, religion, region, loyalties and identities, we cannot handle this kind of challenge. So that is why all Indians must unite. If India as a nation unite, then this kind of treatment not possible. Today India is very strong. Today India is unified. That is why all countries are respecting. Today gradually we are coming out of this local identities also. That is why you can see the difference between 200 years ago and today. And even if today also, if again Indians fall in the same trap like caste, religion, region, and so many other narrow loyalties, narrow identities, once again India as a country is going to suffer. That is what racial discrimination by the British enabled Indians to think that because Indians are divided, because Indians are not coming together as a unified force, Britishers are trying to exploit us, trying to treat Indians in just manner. The moment we unite as a nation, then English also going to respect us, and that is what they are doing today. This way, this is the racialism factor. So these are some of the important factors. So many leaders we are going to discuss in the coming classes. So many leaders are going to highlight this factor. Socio-religious reforms enabled. Already while we are discussing about socio-religious reformers, we have already discussed. They laid very strong foundation of thinking in the right direction to build the nation. Modern education and English education, historical research, communication means, press, exploitative policies, most important, exploitative policies of the British, and political unity. All these factors led to Indians think that we as a nation must unite, then only we can live freely, we can be respected by the British and Europeans. For that, India must unite under one identity, that is nationalism. That ideology is going to have very great impact on India's future. That spirit of nationalism is even today also helping India as a nation to get united. India got independence in 1947. Along with India, many other countries also got independence. But some countries divided after some time. One of the reasons why India is still able to survive means the feeling of nation. Even today also, people are giving the slogans like Mera Bharat Mahan, I am Indian. These are the emotions coming out of this spirit of nationalism only. So this is the spirit of nationalism that has grown in the second half of 19th century. Second half. That means after 1850s to 1900. During this time period, this feeling increased. In 1900s, it increased further. During this time period, these are the factors that helped the growth of nationalism in India. All right, these are the factors behind the rise of nationalism. I will give you some questions. Now onwards, the questions are not only going to be strictly related to this particular chapter alone, because now whatever we are discussing, they are already connecting with the previous chapters. That's why I will give you questions from various angles. Number one. In 1857 revolt, Lucknow leaders. An example, one question. Second one, Widow Remarriage Act was passed in which year? All right. Third one, examples of revolts in Chota Nagpur Plateau. Some examples, Chota Nagpur Plateau. Fourth one, Bengal Socio-Religious Reformers. Examples, Bengal Socio-Religious Reformers. Examples. Fifth one, give four factors, important four factors for rise of nationalism. Right? Four, any important four factors, whatever you remember, write in the comment box. All right. So in this way, your brain is now going to get triggered to remember previous classes as well. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.